Hello YouTube, how is everyone doing today? Welcome on to a pretty unusual video today where I'm going to be talking about Magic the Gathering. For those that don't know, I am a huge fan and investor in Magic the Gathering. This is something different that I did in most videos where instead of music or game content, we're going to be doing a tier list of my favorite Magic the Gathering color combinations. Before we get into this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see new updates on new videos. We also have a Discord server where people can come and hang out. Everything is all in the link in the description below. So now, without further ado, let's get right into today's tier list. Alright, hello YouTube, how is everyone doing today? Welcome to a pretty unusual video today where I'm gonna be talking about Magic the Gathering and specifically ranking my favorite Magic the Gathering color combination. This is something different than what I do in most of my videos, where instead of music or game content, we're going to be doing a tier list today. I'm a huge fan and investor in Magic the Gathering as I love playing specifically the Commanders format, and sometimes I do like to play draft as well. Although my my luck in draft tends to be pretty bad. Alright, we have a list of every single Magic the Gathering color combination over here. And this tier list is going to specifically be ranked based on what color combination I prefer the most and why I like these combinations. There is a total of 32 different combinations in Magic the Gathering. Starting with the basics, we going with the monocolors. We have our white color. White color tends to be, it is usually linked a lot with life gain, life loss, and also huge board control. And the blue is where our strategies come in. Blue is for a lot of counters, a lot of traps, and a lot of other sneaky little things that people can hide in their decks. Going into the black color, black is tends to be for sacrifice. That's what black color is. Black color is for dark magic and all that stuff. With the red color is the aggressive color. It is the one that throws the most punches, does a lot of damage, and also they are very hasty. Now the green color, not only does green grant you a lot of mana, but green also gives you a lot of big creatures. And the colorless, let's just say that they're a little bit special. Starting with a mono white. Mono white is something that I do enjoy to play. It's not something that I like a lot. To be fair, there's only a very rare selected white mono white color decks that I enjoy. For example, I have a Lightpaws deck. Lightpaw is a mono white deck where it is aura and enchantment control deck. Lightpaws has the ability where whenever I cast an aura and attach it, I can search my library for another aura that is mana value equal or less to the previous aura that I casted and attach that to Lightpaws as well. Lightpaws is a very aura heavy deck where you can add stuff like protection, you can add stuff like +3/+3, or you can add stuff like all that glitters. All that glitters is an aura where for each enchantment specifically aura and equipments attached to the creature, they will get a +1/+1 based on how many is attached onto it. So if you have 10 auras, so for example, if you have like 10 auras attached to Lightpaws, Lightpaws will get +10/+10, which is really, really powerful. All right, now for the blue. Blue is something that I dislike. I don't really like a lot. It's not something that I like and I enjoy to play. Neither is it a thing that I enjoy to encounter because blue is very counter heavy. It's just not fun to play, especially when you have a person playing a very blue heavy deck. Stuff like mana drain, which is super annoying. Blue is one of those annoying categories that I will put it in D just because it's annoying. I'm not putting it there because I hate it. I'm just putting it there because it's not something that I enjoy to encounter a lot. Now, black is something that is sort of in the middle for me. It's not something that I like to utilize a lot, but it's also something that I don't want to avoid too much. Black color is sort of like a gamble, honestly. You sacrifice some things to gain some more things. So I'm gonna have to put black in B tier. It's sort of in the middle for me. Now red. Red. Red is something that it is fun to play. However, it does get a little bit risky, as like I said, red cards are very hasty and they're very aggressive, but that poses a lot of risk. Sometimes you don't want to attack right away. Now, our final pick, green, which is my favorite. Green is something that is very, very resourceful. There's a lot of fun stuff that you can do with green. Coming up with our multicolor decks. The first thing is a white and blue, which is also known as Azorius. Azorius is a combination of board control and setting up your opponents for a big surprise. One of the most popular archetypes for these color combinations are stuff like vehicles. You have stuff like Katori. There are a lot of vehicles out there that are really powerful, but is this something that I like to play a lot? Not really. Now, blue and black. Blue and black is also known as Dimir, and I personally do have a Dimir deck. Yuriko. I will say Dimir is a really powerful archetype. We're gonna put that up in the A tier. Time for the red and black combination, which is also known as Rakdos. It's less aggressive than mono red, but it's also really heavy in terms of sacrificing small things for bigger and stronger things. Rakdos decks are one of those archetypes that I don't know very much about, just because I don't really have a lot of Rakdos decks, nor have I encountered a lot of Rakdos decks. Rakdos is, I'm gonna put it in C tier, just because I'm not too familiar with Rakdos. It's not something that I know much about, and it's also not something that I play a lot, although I can see that Rakdos decks are really overpowered and they can be abused very easily. The green and red color combination, which is also known as Gruul. Gruul is something that I personally enjoy playing a lot. I have several Gruul decks, one of my favorite being Raga Draga. Gruul is one of my favorite color combinations of all time. Next color combination is a green and white deck, which is also known as Selesnya. Selesnya is often used for board resourcefulness. You have a lot of resource on your board while also maintaining and protecting your board. Green and white decks are one of those that I would say, in my opinion, it's not something that I like to play often. It's one of those decks where it's tricky to get around. Probably one of the most famous color combinations for a 2-mana combination. We got the Orzhov. Orzhov is white and black. One of the decks that I can think of that uses the Orzhov color combination is Teysa Karlov. Not only is it relying on a small sacrifice of your creatures, but with those sacrifices, you get greater things. This is something that I do enjoy. It's the deck where it goes, you lose some, you win more. Next up, we have the red and blue combination, which is also known as Izzet. Izzet decks are what I like to call spell slinging decks. Usually when you think about blue and red combined, you think about a lot of spell slinging. This is something that I also enjoy to see. It's very fun. It's very fast paced as well. But the next one that we have is a green and black deck, which is also known as Golgari. What I like to call the creepy area. Golgari utilizes a lot of sacrifices while also making sure that you have a lot of resources to make those sacrifices. In my opinion, Golgari, it's very powerful, but I'm gonna have to put it in the B tier. It's not something that I enjoy to see a lot because they are very, very annoying to get around with. Red and white deck. Red and white is also known as Boros. I guess the best way to describe Boros is on the outside, they look very calm and chill creatures when in reality, they are psychopaths. Boros decks are one of those decks that I don't know too much about. It is gonna go to the C tier with me. They are pretty creepy, but also at the same time, it's not something that I know a lot. Lastly, we have a green and blue deck, which is also known as Simic. One of those Simic decks that I can think of is, say for example, Kinnan. Not only is it deck heavy, but it's also board heavy. It's one of those that, I don't know. Now we are going into our 3-color combination. First up, we have a green, white, and blue deck, also known as Bant. Now, Bant is something that I personally kind of like a lot. Bant utilizes a lot of strategy, a lot of big creatures, while also maintaining the board. Now, I do have a Bant commander. His name is Cross Defense Contractor. What he does is you can put any kind of counter on your opponent's creatures. While Cross is on the field, any opponent's creature that has any sort of counter on top of them, they are goaded, meaning that, well, one, they have to fight someone. It's a must. It's like they cannot choose to not attack with that creature. But secondly, they cannot attack me. They have to fight other people. Bant, I would say Bant is up there in the B tier. Next up, we have a white, black, and blue, also known as Esper. Esper is one of those that I also don't know too much about. And it's also one of those color combinations that isn't exactly that popular, at least from what I've seen. Not a lot of people play Esper decks. If I'm thinking about an Esper deck, I'm probably gonna think about Yishtola. I think that's how I say her name, Yishtola. Me personally, I've rarely seen an Esper deck going around. So just because of that, I'm gonna put it in the D tier. Coming up is a red, black, and blue color combination, which is also known as Grixis. Now, Grixis is a very interesting color combination. One of my favorite Grixis deck that I have is Davros, Dalek Creator. He comes from the Doctor Who set, where it has Menace. At the beginning of your end step, create a 3/3 black Dalek artifact creature token with Menace. And if an opponent lost 3 or more life this turn, then each opponent who lost 3 or more life this turn faces a villainous choice. You either draw a card, or that player discards a card. As someone who owns a Davros deck, it is a deck that I enjoy to play quite a lot. So I will put Grixis probably up in the S tier. I'm probably gonna put it up in the S tier. It's very enjoyable. A green, red, and black is called a Jund. Jund color combination is not something that we're just gonna put in the C tier. Usually when it comes to this color combination, it gets a little bit too complicated for me. That's not something that I enjoy quite a lot. Moving on, we have the red, green, and white deck, which is also known as Naya. Now, Naya is something I'm gonna put this up like at the highest S tier. Naya is something that I enjoy playing the most. That is something that I have the most fun playing. One of my favorite Naya deck that I ever have is Panlaza. Panlaza is a dinosaur where basically, as long as Panlaza is on the field, as long as there's a dinosaur on the field, I get to discover based on its toughness. And what discover does is I basically exile from the top of the library depending on that specific toughness level. Let's say, for example, toughness is 4. I exile the top 4 cards of my library. And if there is a card that is mana 4 or less that I can play immediately, I can play that card without paying the mana cost, and the rest of the cards go to the bottom of the library. So obviously, all the cards that go to the bottom has to be shuffled, but Again, it doesn't matter. It's free casting. So, Naya, my favorite color combination of all time. Next color combination that we have over here is a green, white, and black. Green, white, and black is a absent deck. Absent is something that I don't know too much about. Again, it utilizes a lot of resources like landfall, and it also uses a lot of graveyard recursion. It has a lot of dark magic. It's not exactly a color combination that I use a lot, so I'm gonna have to put it in the C tier. Our next color combination is a red, white, and blue combination, which is also known as Jeskai. Jeskai commanders can be pretty powerful, and there's a lot of things that can be utilized in a Jeskai deck. Jeskai decks are sort of like the alternative to green decks. It gathers resources in a different way. For those that don't like green decks, Jeskai is a good alternative. Jeskai, however, it's not something that I use a lot. We're gonna put it in the D tier. Coming to our third last 3-color combination, we have a green, blue, and black, which is also known as Sultai. What Sultai decks are best at, one, obviously with green, you can get a lot of resources, but also since it has blue and black, you can have a lot of staples like negates, Mystic Remora, and with black, you can have stuff like Toxic Deluge, Reanimate. I will say it's decent. It's decent. It's not something that I would be overly hyped about, but it's decent. The next combination that we have is a white, red, and black combination, which is also known as Mardu. Mardu commanders are probably the most meta commanders out there. They are very, very powerful. Now, just for that, I'll put it in A tier. It's not something that I like to play a lot, but I cannot ignore the fact that Mardu commanders are just broken. They're really, really overpowered and nasty. The last 3-color combination that we have over here is a red, green, and blue combination, which is also known as Temur. Temur commanders are what I would say. They are, not only are they really big, I should say it does the most impact in the most resourceful way. Mirim, where it's a very powerful dragon commander, where whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you can create a token that's a copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if that dragon is legendary. It's a very aggressive, it's one of those like really aggressive decks. I'll say it's an A tier. It deserves its place up there. It's really good. Now, coming up to the 4-color commanders, and I'm just gonna be completely brutally honest. I do not like 4-color combinations at all. It's just there's not a lot of 4-color commanders out there, and also to me it sort of feels like I have a lot of stuff that I can do, yet there's a lot of stuff that I can't do. To me, it's just not my playstyle at all. Again, 4-color commanders are not something that I like to play a lot. Just because I do kind of like witch commanders, stuff like Atraxa. I'll put it in C tier. Now, lastly, over here we have the colorless, and we also have the 5-color. The 5-color is known as Uberg. And that is an acronym for white. The U stands for blue, so white, blue, black, red, and green. It's basically an acronym for all 5-color combination. Uberg. Uberg is, I would say, in my opinion, A tier. It's not my most favorite, but it's something that I do really, really enjoy playing. One of the most popular Uber commander is Dragon. The Dragon is a Eminence commander, where as long as the Dragon is the command zone or on the battlefield, other dragon spell you cost 1 less. Not only that, it has flying, and whenever one or more dragon you control attack, draw that many cards, then you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So Not only is it free casting a bunch of dragons, but also all your dragons cost 1 mana less to cast. Ubik is one of those color combinations that you have a unlimited variety of things that you can do, and it is very easy to abuse. Last but not least, we got the colorless combination. Usually people associate colorless with Eldrazi's or shapeshifters, just because they don't have an actual shape. They're shapeshifters. They can be any color they want. I will put this in the B tier. It's something that, sure, I do have nightmares about, but it's not exactly something that I don't want to avoid. Like I've been thinking about building a Eldrazi deck as well. This is my final tier list, everyone. This is what my final tier list looks like for all my color combinations. Now, obviously, I know that there's going to be a lot of controversies with some of these picks, but hey, this is what I enjoy to play versus what I dislike to play. If you guys have any suggestions, or if there's any opinions that you guys have about this tier list, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see all of you guys' opinions about different color combinations. Let me know if I should do something like this more often. I enjoy doing tier list. It's really fun in my opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, make sure to leave a like if you liked it. Put a dislike if you disliked it. And let me know, what is your favorite color combination? I'll see you guys next time. Bye!